So why do we want to look for a non-correlated asset? First off, what is a non-correlated asset? Well, when we talk about it, what we're talking about is assets that are not linked to a particular index. So something like a stock is linked to an index. So a company is listed on a particular exchange and therefore it fluctuates with the overall market. So if something were to go wrong or there were some sort of activity that goes on, some volatility somewhere, the stock market moves up and down. A lot of factors that go in. Nobody knows all of that contributes to it. But that market as a whole fluctuates as well as the individual stocks or individual components within that. Also, there are things like the real estate market, and the housing market will flex based on what's going on with other economic factors. So these assets that are tied to a market will fluctuate significantly. They tend to be the most volatile. So when we invest in them, we are along for whatever ride that volatility curve is going to go on. So as an investor or someone who's trying to put money away for the long term, it's very frightening to put our hard-earned cash into a ship that's going to be on the volatility ocean, right? The sea that's going to keep taking us on that roller coaster. And so when we look at something like life insurance, the companies that we set up are with mutual insurance companies, which means they're carriers that are not publicly traded. They're not linked to any kind of index. And so their performance or the return that they give us as a policyholder, both dividends and interest, is it's directly correlated to their performance as a company. It has nothing to do with those outside factors. Now, outside factors will play into the dividend. So if you remember back to earlier videos, the interest rate, that 4%, that is the guaranteed rate that gets paid to all policyholders, guaranteed. Everything over and beyond that floor, that guarantee, is an index that is non-guaranteed. So if there is an absolute stock market collapse or there are some other factors that affect the performance and the overall kind of profitability of the insurance company, that dividend may be affected. And that dividend usually goes between 1% and 2% on top of the 4%, so 5 to 6% total. Any fluctuation that would happen outside market conditions or something else goes on, or like they had to pay out a significantly more death benefit than they thought they would in one particular year or something, that will affect the dividend, but it will not affect your guaranteed rate. So it's very important that when we have our plan that we're putting together, we like to focus on having some portion. Now, we put a heavy portion in our non-correlated asset classes because we have that peace of mind. We know that they're not going to be exposed to anything volatile. We know we have full control over that and we have a guarantee in place. It might not be an absolute home run, but as a safety net, as a standard kind of war chest for our cash, we like the ability to be able to keep a large amount of our liquidity inside one of these policies because it's non-correlated. If we then want to leverage, take a loan out and invest in one of these markets or invest in some other kind of asset to try to get more upside potential, perfectly fine. But we want to know at home that we've got our safety net, that war chest of non-correlated assets, that no matter what, we can sleep at night and have peace of mind because we're not linked to any sort of outside index.